Evening, guys. How's everyone doing? Unusual video today. So all the videos typically are saws that either in my collection staying or ones that have been sold and going to somebody else. But today's unusual because the saw I'm going to show is not actually my saw, sent to me from a really nice guy. So how many of you out there have seen something like a hot rod Danarm 36? Really unusual engine to tune, and yeah, a really unusual engine to tune. And I didn't get sent one of those. Right, let's put that girl down. I got sent this girl. Ula, how you doing? So a really nice guy in Scotland messaged me and said, hey, would I have a look at a John Surd's 920 he has, and we refer to it as a hot rod because it has this unusual silencer, stainless steel made, and the engine's got great compression. The exhaust bolts are wired and it has some type of gasket sealer permanently set, so haven't taken the exhaust off, but great compression. Has this something similar to like a K&N or a racing filter, high flow filter, which means that you can't put the air filter correct cap back on it. Didn't come with a bar and chain, so I put that on just to, obviously if you're starting them, you have to be very careful with big engines. If they backfire, probably some of you have seen, clutches can come off like a bullet, literally, do a lot of damage. So she was sparking, but refusing to run, just would bang and then just stop. So, I can't remember how long she's been here. Maybe 3 months, 2.5, 3 months, something like that. And really difficult to get parts, really difficult. Beautiful saw. So cosmetically challenged, has obviously had a hole in the base at some stage in her life, and some threads gone on the crankcase, AV mount's broken, so had a tough life. But, so John Sears 920, so these are a spectacular mid-80s saw. So anybody, you'd think you could be forgiven for thinking it's very similar to the John Sears 80 and the John Sears 90, but so they were a 52-38 and 54-38. So this shares the same piston as the 90, 54-38, and makes a nominal 87 cc's, but just a complete rework. Far superior in that regard as well. Okay, so what did I have done to her? I started off just doing the basics. Wrong fuel pipe in her, too big bore. So I put a correct John Sears Husqvarna fuel pipe in, new fuel pickup. The impulse line partially damaged, replaced. Tank vent not venting correctly, tank vent done. Then she kind of starts to try to run. Took off the carburetor and redone the carburetor, then reset the carburetor to factory settings on this, which is 1 1/4 on low and 1 on high. Really didn't like the inlet manifold gasket. That's been replaced with a correct one, full size, full body ones. Any of you rebuilding engines will know that lots of the cheaper ones, they give you like a double triangled manifold gasket, whereas the correct ones are more of an oval egg shape and give a proper seal. That's been replaced. Then she started to run a lot better. Changed the plug, but she still has a strange running characteristic. And so then I've taken off the clutch cover, traced back the wiring, and the wiring is damaged in 2 or 3 sections. So I've soldered one section, heat shrunk. Then there's another section which is bared off. I've heat shrunk that. The secondary connection on the secondary coil which sits on these, so primary lower, secondary next to the carburetor. I've resoldered that connection. That's been heat shrunk as well, and so now she does actually run, but has this strange intermittent misfire, which I'm tending to think is the primary coil just breaking down, but I can't obtain a second-hand one. I've looked, but undoubtedly one will come up. But I'll show you how she currently runs, and I thought, well, if she gives us a section of running well, worked on the oil is, oil is working well, And what else is there to say? No, not much else. Okay. And interestingly, the choke lever ruler, I tried to put on a makeshift pull because they normally have the all-in-one choke with the throttle linkage here, and even when I put it on, it fails to engage the throttle lock, and so there's too much play on that, on the arm, which is the dual function arm at the front of the carburettor, so that might need a new arm. But okay, let's see if this girl will start for us. So a real thumper and a banger of an engine, but you can hear it's just got that occasional popping and misfiring. So I'm thinking that's off the primary coil. The only way to know really is going to be to swap that out, and I've been looking but I can't find one as yet. Okay, so I've been just itching. I've been freshly re-oiled her, cleaned the tank. I've got a period John Sid's 900 series bar, and Husqvarna full chisel chain. I'm not sure if she's sharp or not. I think I put her away sharp. Let's try her on a couple of cuts of wood. Needle settings are running at factory, just over in fact. Maybe 5 minutes extra on the no needle just because of this air filter. And right, let's take a couple of discs. They're spectacular engines when they're performing well. They really are. Okay, that was one other thing Ulovic's missing as well, which is only makeshift as well at the same time. The carburettor is missing its the idle screw, the tapered idle screw, and it's an unusual shape. Again, I've looked, I don't have one, and it's different to the other designs for the earlier saws I have completely. They're completely different. So I had a correct threaded bolt though, and I've shimmed the bolt with some bushes just so now the engine sits on a tiny bit higher idle. But the only thing you'll find is that if you're starting it from completely from cold, you're going to need to fish in and lock off the choke, because she's just not good. She's going to take a 10 or 20 pulls to prime with fuel otherwise, because you just can't get the choke to lock on. Anyway, let's see what this girl takes a disc like and see whether or not she bogs in the cut. We may even do a slight adjustment. It'd be really exciting to see. Definitely some extra volume on this stainless steel exhaust. It sounds really nice actually. Try a couple of small discs and then, well, we'll see how she goes. She may not want to cut. surprising, isn't it? Even with that intermittent misfire when she's kind of off load, the minute the engine's loaded up, the misfire seems to disappear. That's really interesting as well. That's really interesting. Wow, I didn't miss a beat through the wood. So this is a 22 inch bar. Oh my goodness, hang on. What is that? Oh wow, I didn't realise it's so close. Okay, so that's the full bar buried. So that's the ever impressive Johnson's 920. Ooh, I hope that's nice. At least she's up and running. Obviously she's not perfect. So a beautiful type of start for a hot rod saw. Engine's very strong, excellent compression. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the fueling as such. She's sitting just literally on original factory carb settings, which would make you think that the engine feels really fresh. But that misfire, there you go. Got a really strong suspicion that's on the primary coil, and I'd probably say use her for a bit, put her through another 10-20 discs and see if it clears up even more. It might just be, there you go, stranger things have happened. We get moisture ingress, although I don't know if it's that. But thanks for sending her over. I hope it's nice to at least see this girl back up and running. And they're really impressive machines. Ula, let me know how you get on with the 920 and how she performs if you start using her as she is. Take care guys, bye for now.